Morning, everybody. January 21st, Board of Supervisor meeting. I am filling in for Don this morning because he's enjoying a little warmer weather than we are. He is on Zoom with us though. So we have Don Schwenker on
I'm
Zoom,
here.
Mike Steinis, Elise Smith as our county auditor, Bjorn as our IT, Luann's back there keeping us in order. We have Brittany from the media, and first up is going to be Lori.
Okay, first order of business for me is the construction evaluation resolution. This is for the master matrix. This is an annual document that needs to be signed showing our participation in this for animal feeding confinement operations. The deadline is always the end of January, so I was going to present this to you today. It's the same resolution you sign every year, just a different date.
So they discuss it at the legislation every year. Of course, the numbers are always, so if they weigh 50 pounds, they can have 10,000 head, but so then they built one for 9,980 head.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it's per animal unit, and like those that have the chicken houses in our county, those are 30,000, 40,000 birds, but takes a lot more of those to make one unit.
And I understand the whole concept of the system. It should be regulated at some point, but somehow I feel like the DNR should be involved more to that effect. With the, whether it be the smell or the,
This unfortunately is the only tool we have as a county.
Yeah, I get it. I would
So
make
moved.
Okay, has he been removed from the chair then?
Well, Nan started the chair
So
so she started the meeting as vice chair,
So we discussed it last week, is that she was still, I don't care how we do it, just.
Yeah, we're just trying to,
I motion second.
yeah, because he would still have a voice.
Yeah,
No,
So
I would second that motion.
okay.
we had a first by Don, second by Mike on resolution number
1096-01-21-2025.
Any further discussion on this? All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
And
Any
then,
opposed? Nope.
I'm sorry, I was trying to keep
Go
moving
ahead.
for you guys. I apologize. We do have a court case today. One of the properties up in Leisure Lake that this was actually going to trial. We have a lot of them that had just been going to magistrate, and this one's finally making it to trial. And so we'll see where we are at the end of the day. This is one of the bigger violations in Leisure Lake. So we'll hopefully make some movement and set a precedence for this moving forward. And we're working on, after last night's meeting with the zoning commission, they wanted to forward you guys the wind energy conversion system ordinance draft for you guys. So hopefully, I don't know, next week probably isn't going to be a good week. So you tell me if you want to see it. Okay, so the first Tuesday of January or February rather, I will have that for you guys to present at this meeting, and we're going to gift draft it to you guys. and
so
everything.
you're gonna have it before then, that we can review and have questions, correct?
Yeah, I can do that.
I
Hopefully,
mean, I reviewed the last one you sent 2 weeks ago, maybe, or a week ago.
yeah.
Have a few questions, but I'm
Well-
sure they've all been answered.
And then there's been one significant change that the commission made last night, and that was to increase the setbacks from the turbine to the nearest property line from 1,500 feet to 2,000 feet.
Okay, well, we've all heard the news in the last 2 days.
Wow.
Wind energy, but
I know, really, I didn't see it coming. There was some concerns. One of the people that spoke had concerns about the setback, especially now that we're allowing waivers. And, yeah, that was one of their concerns, and they chose to act on that.
so that was one of my questions was on the waiver. So if the neighboring property owner waives it, then it's waived. It could be possible. It could be closer than 2,000 feet.
Correct.
And so does that go from owner to owner, transfer automatically?
Yes. It would be a document recorded in the recorder's office.
Like
Well,
an
and they
easement?
did take out also the word adjacent, and it's any property owner that would fall within that 2,000 feet now. So because I could own a land and then say Bjorn could own the land next to me, well, my strip is long and narrow. It would infringe onto his strip, so he would also have to agree.
So it's still within the parameter of the 2,000 feet.
Right.
Yep, so there's right now the option of waivers, for property owners within, within that 2,000 foot setback.
Well, you get us the draft, the final draft, and again, on my behalf, I can't thank them enough for the dedication and the headaches and the head scratching they put in the last 18 months and.
It's just crazy that it's drawn out this long. And then when I told them we're gonna be presenting them with the solar ordinance coming up, they're just like,
Did they all resign?
no, we still have a full seven-member zoning commission, so
Great.
we're still good. And there was discussion of what that was gonna look like, which ordinance we were gonna model. And they indirectly already given me direction. I know where they are on this wind ordinance. I know where we are on our comprehensive plan as far as conservation of ag land. I know where we are on our land use policy. And just molding it in to fit those and seeing, where they are on it. So we're gonna be taken from several different ordinances to.
We appreciate the work you're putting into that.
Thanks.
I do have a question about the data mining.
Yes, sir.
Are they scheduled to come back? Are they still in the running here? I see, Manchester has okayed 50 of these, boxcars, if you will, in one spot in their industrial park.
And that's a huge operation from my understanding. That is not your typical. Anything that's looking to come into here. And yes, we have on our zoning commission docket for next month, we will have a data mining operation. The way our zoning ordinance is set up, it's kind of a two-stage process for conditional use. If it's not listed as part of our ordinance, there's two things they have to do. The one is go before the zoning commission to see which district they're gonna allow this type of activity is in. And then the second step is to go before the Board of Adjustment to see what type of special conditions they're gonna put on this industry to operate in our county. So after they're done with the zoning commission, it'll come to you guys for your approval or denial, whatever. And then we would go on with the next step to the Board of Adjustment. So that's where we are. And this is a different company. This is not the company that came and spoke to us and that we've had a lot of dialogue with. This is the company that within an hour after our moratorium was rescinded a couple months ago, had an application in my email box. But they didn't realize that we had a moratorium in place.
Okay,
Or so
just
they
checking.
Yeah. And I'm gonna throw it out here because you guys are gonna hear about it. Grundy Center has had a data mining facility, but it caught on fire. And it was, they say the cause of the fire was due to a space heater. So not related, they're saying not related to the operation itself. And I knew there'd be some concerns about that. What ifs, there's a fire, what if this happens? So I talked to Nick Schulte, I believe, at Nakokota Valley Electric Cooperative. And, I says, so if there's a fire, what is the likelihood of the other consumers that are on that line of losing power, having a power disruption due to that fire? He says very slim, because everything has like a circuit breaker. He was trying to dummy it down for me, but he says, kind of like in your house, there's a circuit breaker at that facility that's gonna stop everything. And it's not gonna get to where it should compromise the grid or other members or clients' electricity. So anyway,
Appreciate it.
thanks, guys.
Stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm, Don.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Might get overheated.
Where's he at, Florida?
No,
He told me where he went. No, it's someplace, escort meeting.
Antigua.
there you go.
Okay, any visitors or citizens that care to address the board?
Mhm. We just didn't know where it is, so I can see.
We have one person on Zoom. I'm not for sure if they want to address the board or anything. We'll give them a second if they want to unmute themselves to address the board.
Hello, this is Mike Griffin. I'm just listening in.
Okay, Mike, thank you. Okay, moving on, then we'll go to Beth Gerlach.
Good morning. Good morning.
How many copies you have? One?
I just have one. I emailed
Yeah.
the rest to you last week. You guys all have it?
Pull it up here.
I guess some of these, some of these numbers are pretty small.
Yeah, they're gonna be tiny in here.
So, I mean,
Do you want a
go ahead and
copy?
Go ahead and go through it.
Do you want me to make copies? You sure?
Nan,
It's
you
gonna be
want copies?
tiny on hers. Let me go make
Yeah.
copies and I can come right
That
back.
might be good.
Two copies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave one on my desk.
Okay,
So 3 copies.
Well, I could look back at the balance. I see there's no percentages really on there, but as far as usage.
Do you want me to slide in quickly?
sure, that'd be great.
So this morning I need a motion to approve the minutes of the January 14th, 2025 board proceeding and the January 14th and January 16th work session minutes as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers.
So moved.
Second.
I got a first by Mike, second by Don, to approve the board meetings and the work sessions to be presented in the papers. All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I need a motion to approve chair and auditor signatures on the 28E joint public service agreement between Jackson County and the city of Macokota to define the financial and legal responsibility among all parties.
So, again, that was pretty much what we agreed upon earlier, and the numbers did change. I don't think that I can see. Does it have?
So this is all because of the Prairie Creek Recreation Center. The city just wants some assurances that we are going to fulfill our obligations. It is my intention that the county pay the $50,000 that we have budgeted in this year's budget, in the FY25 budget. And then we did put $70,000 in next year's budget. So hopefully after July 1st and before the end of the fiscal year, then we would have everything paid. So I did talk to Nate yesterday. I did take this to the county attorney to have him give his blessing as far as the wording of the agreement. He agreed, and Nate was going to present it to his board also.
Okay,
I would move to approve.
Second.
I got a motion by Mike, second by Don to approve the 28E agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
That's all that I have for the board today.
Luann, do you wanna?
Sure.
Or at least get yours started, maybe?
Good morning.
Good morning.
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 Okay, calendar for this week. 5 o'clock tonight is the Conservation Board meeting at Hurstville, for any of you that want to go to that. At 6 o'clock tonight is a Jackson County Economic Alliance meeting for Don. I told them you might not be able to make that.
Pretty good bet on that.
Wednesday, January 22nd at 7, the Jackson County EMS Association meeting at the hospital. Mike and Nin usually attend that. Thursday, January 23rd at 9 a.m. is the pre-bid meeting about the chiller in the community room for any of you. Also at 9 o'clock is RPA meeting in Dubuque or by Zoom for Nin. I told them Don was not going to be available to attend that. 5:30 on Thursday also is the HACAP meeting by Zoom for Mike. Monday, January 27th at 9:30 a.m. is a PEI meeting by Zoom for Mike. At 1 o'clock is a regional advisory committee meeting in Davenport for Jack. At 1:30 on Monday is the Waste Authority meeting at the transfer station for Mike. At 3 o'clock is the Eastern Iowa Mental Health and Disability Services in Davenport for Jack and Lene, and I know Nin often sits in on that meeting. At 4 o'clock is the Early Childhood Iowa Council meeting in DeWitt for Nin. And at 6 o'clock is tentatively a Board of Adjustment meeting in the community room for any of you. Tuesday, January 28th is a special election day. I will keep the agenda as short as possible so we can get Lisa back out of here. Okay, as for business, other business today, I'm looking for discussion, possible action on a conservation board appointment for one person for 5 years to expire December 31st of 2029.
So I would just like to say that I appreciate all those who have applied or put their application in. We have really good, 3 good candidates that we considered, of course, and we're happy with the Conservation Board, what they've been up to. So again, I want to thank the people that did put their application in. Sometimes it's really hard to find somebody to volunteer, but
Yeah, it's nice to see 3 people
have interest.
stepping up and having interest, so.
We have tabled this, so you need to untable.
I would make a motion to untable the Conservation Board appointment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to untable the board appointment for the conservation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I would make a motion to reappoint Mike Griffin, if you will, to the Conservation Board, expiring 12/31/29.
I'll second that.
I have a first by Mike, second by Don to reappoint Michael Griffin to the Conservation Board for a 5-year term. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion accepted.
All right. I think the next bit of business was also tabled last week, the benefited fire district trustees for a term that would expire 12/31/2027. I had originally talked to Steve Lukey, who was one of those whose term is expiring, and he was willing to be reappointed. I have not been able to reach John Horst by phone. I have not been able to reach Joel Brown, but I did send out a memo to all of them and to all of the trustees, asking if they wish to be reappointed, the 2 that need to be reappointed, and asking for their updated contact information. But I haven't heard back from anybody yet. That was just last week, so I know that Shelley needs the appointments as soon as she can because they're part of doing the budget process. So if you want to untable it or leave it tabled, I don't think we're anywhere different than we were last week.
So we have not made contact to see if they will serve as a trustee.
Not more than Steve Lukey. We can reappoint Steve Lukey, but
I think we
He's
did
already
him,
done.
we
We
did
did
him
that. Okay,
last
so
week.
we
He
did
was already
Steve.
done.
Okay.
I was gonna reach out and try and get a phone number. I tried yesterday, but
Well, I don't mind appointing somebody, and it's not like they won't serve, but again, they should be asked. To my,
And we should have contact information on everybody.
if they're on that, or if they're associated with the county, I think you're correct, Donna.
And I don't care what board or commission that is, that we need to have contact information for everybody serving.
So I had mailing addresses, so that's where I sent out the memo and the form. I have mailing addresses for people, but I don't have phone numbers for everybody, so that's on the form that I asked them to fill out, is phone numbers and email information.
I have a couple of contacts I was gonna try. If you wanna leave this.
So I would just, is it okay with Shelley if we just?
Yeah, I
hold
mean,
off?
so we can still leave it tabled. We just need to get, because of the budget process, eventually, we need to get this done.
Yeah.
But let's try.
So it doesn't make any difference if we're not, we don't appoint before we approve our budget anyway, so about the same time.
You know, and they're gonna, knowing these people, they're gonna get together and talk about the budget anyway. It's just,
Well,
we
out of
need it
respect-
appointed before they can sign.
Yeah, out of respect for their time and whatever, I'd like to hear them say yes.
That's fine, then I will reach out with my contacts and see if I can get some phone numbers.
So we don't have to do anything here, we can just bypass that altogether. It's tabled and we can just leave it that way.
Yes.
The last part of business is discussion possible action on a Board of Adjustment appointment for one person to fill a vacancy. The term would expire on May 6th of 2026. And that's because we had a resignation from that board.
And did I see them in here?
Yes, we had two applications.
Okay,
They should both be in your book.
and again, I want to thank both applicants for showing interest and willing to serve. I would make a motion to approve John A. Orange to the Board of Adjustment.
Second,
I have a motion by Mike, second by Don to approve John Arndt to the Board of Adjustment. All those in favor?
aye.
Motion accepted.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Beth is back with us, so we'll go back.
Good morning.
Morning again. All right, now you can all, well, you might not be able to see it, but at least you have a hard copy in front of you now. So the first page is the semi-annual report that will be published in the newspaper. The number that we're balancing to is the second to last column there, that $15,029,563.23. For fund balance ending December 30, 2024. And then the auditor had outstanding warrants at that point in time of $336,169.54.
I have a question, Beth, on that, if I could. I mean, even like simply, we have all of our accounts in here, of course. But just like the very first account, the general basic, there's no column for percentages used, correct, that you ever put in there? So just a rough figure in here, we got what to account for is $7,274,000. And we approximately use with the outstanding warrants, we have a little over 4 million left.
In
Correct?
that fund, in the
In
general
that fund,
basic
yeah, I'm just
fund.
looking at one, yeah. fund.
Yep. Mhm.
So, to me, this is half a year, correct?
Yep, from July, yep. So the first column is what the fund balance was in July. And then revenues, what we brought into that fund. Total will be accounted for, as you said, that number, and then the disbursements that came out of it. So that's what the fund balance is now, minus the warrants that will be coming out of it.
When you say now, you're at.
Well,
the end of-
sorry, just, yeah,
okay.
as of December
Ah,
31st.
That's right,
Yeah.
okay. Is there, you or Lisa, is there any red flags do you see on there as far as being a concern?
I don't see any red flags, no.
I mean, I looked at the balances and it seems like we're, I
I
guess
would
I
say
don't
we're
know
stable.
what we have on on the table that we need to pay for and what's coming up, but
Mhm.
a lot of our construction is done, in the fall, and so,
Right,
I mean, I should say we look pretty stable, but is
yeah,
that
I would say it looks
a common statement
similar
for
to
the
what it
public
normally
that
looks
we-
like, yeah. Yes.
Well, secondary roads has tried to spend down their ending fund balance, so, I mean, obviously you're gonna see a change there, but we're still stable.
Yeah, and I guess to add to that, for good reason, I mean, we're doing a lot of
We're getting a
improvements.
lot of
and
good
lot of-
progress out of it.
A lot of good work being
I haven't
done.
heard a complaint for.
Are
Jeez.
you gonna
Yeah,
say
I should've
it?
You
said-
better knock on something, Mike.
Phone's gonna be ready. Call Mike Stites.
They do.
Yeah, so.
No, we appreciate the improvements, everybody,
Mhm.
all department heads, you got a lot of different departments and a lot of different accounts here, so.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt.
The next few pages is the breakdown. This does not get published in the newspaper. I just leave it in there for you guys, but it's the revenue breakdown. So the total revenue is broken down there, and then it breaks down the expenses on the next page. So those are the total revenues and expenses that were broken down further by fund. And then the next page is the semi-annual spreadsheet that I put together. So the first page is all of the funds showing the auditor's balance minus the warrants that are outstanding, and then the treasurer's balance.
Basically a copy of the first page you gave us.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities here, but this is just showing that my balance that I keep on the books, I can break down and match it up with what the auditors have on their books, essentially is what this one shows us. So they match. You'll see that 15,29,563.29 number again, along with the warrants that are were outstanding. On the next page is still part of that spreadsheet, breaking down the cash that I keep in office, and on that date what it was, and in our accounts, you can see the 15,29,563.23 again, it's in the middle of the page. And then the total cash in office is another number that I look at of 224,233.57. And then the second half of that is the interest added in that we've earned on the accounts. So the accounts are broken down, bank statement balance, balance with interest, and it balances with the treasurer balance there in the last column. Now, so that's that spreadsheet. And then the next page is my daily balancing spreadsheet. I use this every day. And again, you'll see those three numbers that I balance to right in the 3/4 of the way down. Total cash amount 15,029,563.23 was what I had the last day. Cash in banks again, that 14,805,329.66, and cash in office the 224,233.57. So those are balanced with what we've already looked at. The next is the banking and investments balance sheet that I use every day. And this, of course, just shows the balances that are in the bank at that point in time, which is that 14,805,329.66. As we say, that's what was in the bank on the last day in December. And the next one is a month-end spreadsheet that I do, and it is the cash balance spreadsheet as of December 31st. Gonna see a lot of the same numbers. You'll see the bank statement balance, the interest that was earned in December. And then the register balance that I keep is the very last column. You'll see that same number again that I balanced to the 14,805,329.66. And taking in what was in process with debit cards and credit cards and online payments. The treasurer's cash balance then at the very bottom, the 15,29,563.23, the number I balanced to. And then the rest of this is just even further breakdown of the spreadsheet that you already looked at, but it shows the breakdown of cash in office, broken down by bills on the first page to get to that balance, and then the debit and credit cards that were pending on the last day in December, that which we needed to still have the deposit in our account for. And then the online payments that we took in, but we're still waiting for deposits for that were pending. And then the bank account balances are all broken down on the next one. And then CD balances on the last page. And that's it.
Any questions for Beth?
Nothing down there.
You still there, Don?
I'm
Okay.
still here, but if I see you and you can see me, I can't hear you.
Okay,
So it's I shut my video off so I can hear you.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any questions for Beth and then ask?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I would make a motion to, do you need action on this, Beth?
Yeah,
Yep, I would make a motion to approve the semi-annual report as presented
And
So second.
authorize the publication.
and authorize the publication in official newspaper.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so I got a motion by Mike, a second by Don to approve the treasurer's report, semi-annual report. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 you can sign big, it doesn't have to be little. Thank you.
Motion approved.
All right. Thank you.
Any boards or commissions? Or would have none, all mine are canceled.
No, I guess, with the board and commissions, and if somebody wants to hear about them, we certainly can, but unless there's turmoil or something somewhere, boy, they usually run pretty smooth and they have their own little, usually another board preceding them and reporting to us, so. Yeah, it's hard to keep up with a lot of them little meetings we're into, but.
Pretty much all that's on our agenda for today.
I would make a motion
Motion to
to,
adjourn.
I got a motion by Don, second by Mike to adjourn the meeting. Meeting's adjourned.